This is Comic Burrito live stream. I'm Todd.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Nick.
And we are a Comic Burrito.
Comic Burrito. We're down one ingredient right now. He may be lost in space and time. Not sure actually what's going on where he is. He's going to be here probably at any point. But what is up, everybody? How is it going tonight? How's it going, Cole?
I'm all right. I dropped some comics off to you. That was
nice.
Yeah,
you did.
I
got something real schmexy. Oh my!
I read every issue of Thor since the last time we taltalked. Well, Donny Cates run.
Wait, I was saying every issue.
Literally every one. I've read like 1,000 issues of Thor.
That's impressive. That's cool. What did you think?
I really like it so far.
Oh,
I think that the parts that people
really
don't.
Hoping you would diss on it, and then Travis would never like it.
Yeah, I figure the parts that people dislike is just due to like breaks more than anything. So,
speaking of Travis and comics, you dropped off to me. I'm pretty excited. I got these out of my mailbox like 10 minutes ago, so I haven't read them yet.
I read the first issue, and it was very good. He does a thing that we very much like in comic books.
9 panels?
No, saying the title of the comic book in the comic book.
Ah, cool. What is up, everybody? Hi, Anna Molly. Oh no, entertain me quickly, dear God. We have a hard time entertaining you over hours, so I don't know what to do here. Sorry, Steve, if you're still here, long live the Burrito Brigade. That's better than Burritoverse. I think it's going to be Burrito Brigade. Thanks, buddy. I love
the Burrito Brigade is the fans of the Burritoverse. We're in the Burritoverse.
We're in the Burritoverse. Okay, cool. All right. And Legion of Comics, hey, what's up?
Welcome.
Nick, if you're out there, you can show up whenever.
Yeah. What about you? How are you? You playing some PS5 or what were you playing today?
God. My backlog of comics is not being helped by Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's amazing. Oh my God.
I assume that's Vikings, right?
It's Vikings.
Is it anything like God of War?
No.
Okay, cool.
It's hey Tara, hi Film Noir. How's it going? Pixels Pens. What? Do your best. Comics are cool. I did get to read something today. I reread something today. Might tie into who we have on.
Am I looking at it maybe?
You're not looking. I mean, I don't know what you're looking at on your screen, but it might be behind you.
I tried to make it look like I was looking at it. I'm not good at stuff.
Oh, it's okay, buddy. I'm not good at stuff either. Yeah, so I feel naked without a third person here, so maybe we should bring on 2 people?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Then we're all set? Cool. So, time for our drive-through burrito.
Welcome.
Hello to Kevin Cuffe and Bob Frantz of Metalshark Bros. Ah!
Whoa, you've really gone up from like 2 to 10 really quickly from that introduction. That was intense.
And there's like a drive-by car and everything. It was nice.
Yeah,
yes. That was really cool graphics, man. That was well done.
You guys are the first ones that get a bumper.
Really?
I did add the license plate to it.
Yeah.
I didn't see the license plate. What did the license plate say?
It says drive-through and then Burritoverse, like where the state would be.
Okay, all right.
It took it off the burrito so your names could be bigger.
Well, I mean, it's not about our vanity, my friend. We don't need that.
Oh no, it bothered me because I'm like, the names are real small. I should make this so it can be bigger. I mean,
as long as you were the one to say that you made the names bigger and not us saying.
No, it was in your writer too.
Actually, it was me. It was me. I said our names need to be bigger on that burrito. It's my fault.
It was as soon as Kevin. I actually did make it as soon as Kevin said he's going to be on too. So it is Kevin's fault.
Well, Kevin is the dude that will pull your card, and he takes no prisoners. So we're like a good cop, bad cop routine, where Kevin's the tough one, and I'm the, hey man, look, we want to get you at home as soon as possible. You know?
That's it, man. Just tell us what's in the trunk, and you can go home. It's all fine.
Where are the drugs? Where are the drugs?
Kevin's got the phone book, and people see their pants a lot when he's around.
So how is it going, guys? You've got a few irons cooking right now. I think that's the first.
No, I think it's a few irons in the fire, but I'm not.
I think they're cooking.
No, I don't think iron be cooking unless you're like a 9/11
fire
guy.
Four just melts iron.
No, man. I mean, we try to stay busy as much as we can. You know, there's two of us, which is cool because we can kind of split the workload. So that's fun. But yeah, we just try to stay busy.
And we also just juggle lots of things to stay busy. So
nice. How do you split the workload? Like, I think you're our first writing duo to come on. And that's interesting because what's really cool about Metalshark Bro is it does feel like a consistent voice. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is probably Kevin's joke and this might be Bob's joke because there's like two disparate like senses of humors or themes or things like that. It really is quite cohesive for two people kind of helming it. Well, how do you make that work? Or you guys just like have the same sense of humor so it works?
Well, Todd, we share a brain. Sometimes Kevin gets it and sometimes I get to use it. Sometimes it's just in a jar and none of us are using it. We're just kind of banging our head aimlessly into a wall.
Is that where Ira comes from?
Basically, yes. Yeah. We have a good system. Sometimes the way we do it is we get together and we kind of brainstorm an idea. We'll write an outline. I'll start a script. Kevin will come back in and kind of read over the things that I've written and kind of edit. So he plays like editor and then he'll go from there. And then so it's kind of like hot tags, almost like a wrestling tag team, if that makes sense.
Oh, makes sense to us. Yeah.
That's what we'll do, you know.
Kevin gets the hot tag and he gets to like go for the finisher and all that. He gets to claim the glory at the end.
It depends on what match we're in. So like every now and then Bob will get the hot tag and get to finish it. So it just depends on what it is that the outline calls for. So we try and stick closely to an outline, which can be laborious at times, but sometimes it's fun. And sometimes we go off outline because the thing we're writing calls us elsewhere. So
that's cool.
Well, the outline is necessary too, I think, for the two of us, because that way we're consistently working along the same vibe, if that makes sense. You know, so like we don't stray too far off subject or off topic or off, you know, story beat, if you will. So we try to stick to an outline most of the time, and if like we want to change the outline, there'll be the phone call like, hey man, I was thinking this, and then we kind of, you know, adapt and move from there. But it's a good process, man. We've been doing this now, what, Kevin, for
about 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years.
About 5 years together.
Small amount of time.
That's better than most marriages, man.
It's longer than my marriage as of now. So
same.
Yeah. So also for people who obviously only watch like my little video thing and then that's all the information they get, I did realize 2 hours ago I should have stuck this one on there too.
Boom.
Because Metalshark Bro is fucking metal, but Ninja Nuns is killer.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool to add like
so much fun, and it's really cool to dive farther into. I didn't expect an expanded universe for Metalshark Bros, so it's really cool to be like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, give me some more of that.
Well, go ahead, Kevin. You do it.
I was gonna say it's because people said that they wanted to see more about the Ninja Nuns. That we would be at conventions together, and people would be like, we'd be signing a book or talking to them about the book, and they'd be like, we'd really like to see more Ninja Nuns. We'd really like more Ninja Nun stuff. Like, what is the deal with the Ninja Nuns? And so we started talking about it probably the first time somebody mentioned it, and we were like, should we do something with it? Like we didn't have anything prepared like that. So we were like, well, we could come up with something. And then we decided that that's what we were going to do, was just like, how far can we go with the Ninja Nuns? Can we make it like this kind of sort of Charlie's Angels kind of thing?
I do like the Charlie's Angels story a lot, where it's like the starting off in the office and all of that. I'm like, oh, this is great.
We wanted to like parody that and like make fun of a bunch of other things too. So we just figured out what we were going to make fun of, and then separated those actually 3 or 4 different things, and then like decided how many pages we were going to allot to that.
And it was cool too because it gave us something to do over the pandemic, because we put this thing together very quickly. Kevin and I were working on pitches and some other ideas, and then as everyone kind of knows, the industry stopped. Like everybody put their pencils down, and all of a sudden you had artists who had a lot of free time on their hands, who weren't making money, who weren't getting paid. We were nervous about trying to kickstart something during this time, but we were getting some feedback from some people that we know, that we trust, that were telling us that Kickstarters are doing very well during this time. So we're like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. So we paid for the story. We paid for the book out of pocket, and we just kind of went to Kickstarter to kind of recoup some of the money we put in and to get everybody paid a good wage.
Nice,
so it's
cool.
We kicked that out and did some stuff, and it worked out really well, man. We got to work with some people that we've been talking about wanting to work with for quite some time. Chaz Pangburn,
how was it giving a story to somebody else?
Oh, it was fun, man. Chaz
it's a really great story.
No, Chaz is killer. Like,
did a great job.
Chaz is a really talented dude. He's an editor, freelance editor. He works with all kinds of people, but he's been Kevin and ours editor now on like 4 or 5 projects, and he's edited all of Metalshark, bro. So he knows the universe just as well as Walter and Kevin and I do. So when we came up with the idea to do the anthology, it was like, hey, let's see if Chaz wants to do a story, because he's a writer as well, and Chaz was chomping at the bit to do it. So we just kind of hopped on in, and here we are.
Nice. Yeah, he was actually like, I was hoping you guys would ask me, and it was really fun for him to say that. And then when we did ask him, he already had an idea. Like he was like, I already know what I want to do, and so it was fun to like kind of switch roles, because if you look at there, like we got to edit Chaz for once, which wasn't as fun for us because there wasn't as much.
Yeah, that's weird.
He's less of an idiot than we are, so there was like collectively we share a brain. Like Bob
no.
said.
To be fair, Chaz is just a different idiot than we are. Like,
yeah. He's kind of a better idiot. We didn't have as many edits to do, like where he has to do with us. So
there was a couple things, but I mean, it wasn't anything major. And,
it wasn't like ours, yeah.
And at this point, Metalshark Bro kind of writes itself, which is fun. But yeah,
that's got to be nice.
Yeah, so we got Chaz doing a thing, and then Tony Grigori and Josh Jensen did the colors on Tony's story. We've been wanting to work with Tony forever, and if you got the Kickstarter version of the book, Tony did the Dust Pirate stuff that's in the back of it, because that's something that we're working on now. So Tony's thank you. We're very proud of that. It's a really good piece, man. We've put together some cool stuff. So Tony we've been working with Tony forever. So we let Tony, he wanted to do a story. We found another dude named Dan Franco, who I did an anthology piece with way back in the day. So Dan did a piece, and then John Burgeon, who did Kevin's piece, I'm a big fan of. I met him at a con a while back, and he has like a weird Mad Magazine kind of like just a silly kind of fun style. So we do the hippie story, and we just smashed it. Like,
awesome. It's so cool.
The way it turned out.
Yeah.
This is like one of my favorite things. I love when it's just a bunch of it's the themes are completely disparate and all that, but it has that one, like, it's ninja nuns, and you have that cohesive element to all of them, but they're all just so entertaining.
Thank you.
This could be a 4-issue like floppies easily, and it could just be like, I wouldn't have been upset to spend like money on each issue and getting this different thing. It's really great.
I think what we want to do with Ninja Nuns is we want to continue it and kind of pull little stories. Because the one note I did have to Chaz was, hey man, think about where this guy got this book from and who we got this book from. So when we do the second one, we can investigate that. And then
amazing. That's awesome.
Kind of keep some of the story threads kind of going.
I love Lovecraft. So getting more, like, anytime it's like, dive deeper, please. I want to know where that comes from, because anything Lovecraftian, I'm a sucker for. Especially if it comes to constipation. Like, I like died. I'm like, amazing. Best Lovecraft summoning ever.
And it was weird because Tony, like, we were working on Dust Pirates with Tony, and we were like, hey, do you have time to do something else? And he was like, yeah. So, and normally he wouldn't have. So we got lucky there too, because Tony's great. And so are all the others we had on there. We worked with Angela Sprecher, who we worked on probably the first thing or second thing we collaborated on together. Second thing we did together was with Angela. So we wanted to bring her back because we always wanted to work with Angela again. We just haven't had anything that kind of fits her style in a while. So we were like, hey, we could give Angela a story. We've been talking about working with Angela again for like 3 years now. So we found something for her to do.
Do you mind if I show the first page of that?
Not at all.
Show her what you're talking about with her art.
I love Angela, man. She's so talented. She's so much fun. And I mean, like Kevin and I just kind of pulled the two story together like instantly because we just, like, fuck it, let's just do it. So we did it. And then we also got to work with really cool people who did like pinups. And Liana Kangas did a cover for us, and she's amazing. And Jason Copeland, who's a dear friend and a really good Star Wars GM, by the way.
Yes.
Looking to run Star Wars Edge of the Galaxy campaign. Jason's a very good DM. So he did a cover for us. It's just been a lot of fun, man. We've had a really good time doing the book, and we're glad it's kind of hitting its mark. So that's nice.
Where can people find it now that it's not a Kickstarter?
Right now, it's actually I think it just left previews.
Yes, it was in previews. Yeah.
So hopefully your comic shop ordered it. I'm sure you can still go to your local comic shop and tell them you want to order Ninja Nuns, and hopefully they can get you a copy of it. If not, you can probably go to scoutcomics.com. They'll probably have copies of it as well that you can pick up. I know we're trying to work on doing like a web store exclusive cover. I didn't even tell you that, Kevin, so that's news to you too, because I haven't had a chance to, because it just slipped my mind, to quote Kids in the Hall. So yeah. So we're just working on that.
Squishing your head right now.
Yeah, that's a different bit, but you get what I'm going.
I do.
Yeah, slipped my mind. But yeah, so we're just hustling, man. We're just hustling. We got a lot of stuff coming out. We got a lot of stuff that came out this year. Metalshark Bro Volume 2. We had the Stairway Anthology piece that we did. It's just been a lot of fun, man. We've made 2020 a decent year for us, which has been cool.
Hell
That's
yeah,
good
man.
to hear. So I know that they had the one issue of Metalsharks Bro 2. Is it coming out in trade version 2 then?
Yeah, the trade should be out in January.
January, I think, yes.
December. I guess not. There's not much of December left,
Yeah.
right?
I definitely told my shop to get it. I just have no clue when it was supposed to come out.
Yeah,
So.
me neither, man. I'm gonna be honest.
That's why I was just like, well, he'll be on. I can just ask him. I tried to find the previews. Welcome,
Shit,
Nick.
man. Let me try to get an answer to that question for you real quick. We'll be on for a while. I can hit somebody up from Scout, and they'll
Perfect.
By the way, if you want to get on this Metalshark Bro, I don't know if you're aware, we have the Metalshark Bro Brigade in our Discord that is in the description. So if you're love it, get on the Metalshark Bro and then post over there because it's awesome. And it's not always Metalshark Bro because it's our Discord, and our Discord is like this.
It's all over the place. There's a channel about food.
Shit happens. People show up late sometimes. It's fine.
Yeah, sometimes you can host the show and just show up 10 minutes late.
Sometimes people are watching Hamilton with their family and they don't get
yeah, man. There's a ship in the harbor now, man. There's a ship in the harbor.
I felt like I'm watching the end of Hamilton and I feel my phone buzzing in my pocket and I'm like, oh, it's got to be after 10.
Yep. Hey, it is.
Sorry.
What's your
Hi,
favorite?
everyone. I'm
Hello.
Nick.
Hey, Nick, what's your
Hi,
favorite?
Nick.
What's your favorite number from Hamilton? Then, what's your favorite song?
It's got to be his shot because he missed it.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
This was the first time I've ever had any of it, and that is up there for sure.
So you
That's
never
your first Hamilton?
It was my first Hamilton tonight.
Wow.
All right,
Sorry I'm
fine.
late,
You
but
can
it was
do
my
it
first
late.
Hamilton.
That's
Like-
fine.
Well, to be fair, I only got into it recently when they put it on Disney Plus. That's
That's what
what.
you're
no,
watching
that's-
on.
Yeah, I'm so happy with how many people have gotten to see that now and experience it because
It started off with the entire family, and it ended up with me and my wife and our second son. So we made it 1 out of 4 kids.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
So we're happy with
You
it.
got 4
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
It is. You are correct.
You're a wild man, dude. How do you find time to do a podcast with 4 kids? That's insane.
How do you find time to read comics with 4 kids?
Do everything basically.
Yeah, I mean,
He just ignores the kids. It's a really
That's
easy
all I can do
equation.
to get away. That's all I can do.
We're like, hey, you guys read this comic.
This is
book.
my sanity right
We
now.
can talk about it. So I was told to ask or to tell you guys that you should read White Ash, even though it's specifically references it in Ninja Nuns. But Bearded Comic Bro, one of the guys that are in our Discord, said we should ask you because of that panel.
We both have read White Ash.
I can't lie to you. I have not read White Ash.
I thought you read it. I thought you read it
I
digitally.
Evan, you lie.
I can't wait to tell him that.
I haven't rered it. I haven't read White Ash, but
I
I
have read White
I
Ash.
think you'd like it. There's this elf chick.
No, I know I would dig it because I love Charlie.
Charlie's great. Yeah,
But yeah,
I have read it. Bobby hasn't. So.
yeah.
I don't think I've read it.
Louis, check it out. Go to scoutcomics.com. You can pick that shit up, baby. I think they just had a Black Friday sale, Jack.
That's right.
Hey, Bob, you could go to scoutcomics.com and you can pick it up real quick.
You're right.
But even I know that your guys' trade is actually sold out there because I went to like find it to put a link in our description and it was actually sold out from there except in digital.
That is true.
Which
The
is-
Metal Shark Bro Volume 1 trade did sell out. The re-release of that is coming out in a couple weeks, I think. I don't know what the hell is going on. I got codes for something that I think is
It's too
coming out.
popular.
They're re-releasing
So
it with a
good.
new cover from Walter, so like you should just go buy it because it has a new cover. It's going to be the same stuff on the inside, but you want to have that Walter Osley sweet purple cover with Metal
The
Shark.
cover looks good, dude.
And then you
great.
could
It's great.
just cut the cover off and then give the book to a friend that hasn't read it.
You sure can do. You can do that. There's no rules. There's
You
no
can
rules
set.
here.
You can buy it and set it on fire and never read it. I don't care. As long
Buy
as
like
you
10 copies
long as you
and
buy
set
it
them on
first.
fire.
I mean, we all need kindling. You can give them to your enemies and people you dislike. This is what I think of you, and hand them.
Throw it at their heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use them as projectiles. If you get stuck in snow, pile them behind your tires so you can like get traction.
I've
There's
actually
so
done
many
that.
uses.
I've done
There's
that.
so
I've
many
done that.
uses
I've done that.
for all of your copies of Metal Shark Pro
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
should buy.
It makes a great beer coaster. You can use. You can. I mean, it's a very large beer coaster, so you have to have a big beer like this one.
I bought enough that I'm actually sitting on a stack of them.
See, the
Oh,
thing
It's my
is,
office chair.
the thing is, we are clearly speaking in jest, and we shouldn't be so
What?
so self-deprecating about the work. He's just drinking like moonshine right out of a bottle, like 1940s cough syrup over there.
No, it looks like bourbon.
It
It
looks like
is bourbon.
Isn't
Oh,
that
him.
That's
Yeah.
cough syrup.
Oh.
He gets samples because his wife works at a upscale.
It's single barrel
Place.
bourbon.
This sample is good. We will buy this.
Now, but yeah, like
It is amazing though, and you should buy 10 copies so you can hand them out to people and
Metal Shark
cherish them.
Pro.
Just because they're
Random
awesome.
people on the street.
Metal Shark Bro is a lot of fun. Like Kevin and I, when we crafted this story of silliness, really wanted to do something kind of wacky and different and out there and just kind of offbeat and strange. And we wrote a script, and we wrote 2 scripts, and then we wrote a 3rd script, and we just kept pushing and just wanted to see how far we could take it, to see how far we could go. And luckily for us, the audience went along with us, and they went along, and it was a great feeling, man. It gives you a lot of freedom as a storyteller, because if they buy it at this point, then there's no stopping. Like, they're not going to get to a point with Metal Shark Pro and go, "Oh, that's bullshit, I'm out." Like,
Fucking Demon Donuts. I put the book down at the Demon Donuts. I said no.
Yeah, if
This is the stupidest
like
shit
the
ever.
first one was good for you, you're gonna be fine. It's like, it's a pretty quick litmus test. Like, hey, do you like this? Okay, you're gonna be fine. Read the rest.
and
Yeah, you'll know pretty quick if you're in or out.
I think from the first, you see a bunch of bros on a ship eating, giving each other high
In
five.
fact, I think if you read the synopsis or
Such a
anything
good
about
origin
the book, if
story.
you read anything, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, so
If you read the back of the book, what the fin is a Metal Shark Bro. And if you read that and you're in, you're good.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you
the
one
origin
thing.
story makes me lol so hard though. It's just like, of course, like this is absurdity. So of course this is how it like started. I love it. It's amazing.
You know,
it's not a thinker.
I think I have the one way that might get people to not keep going. If you show how Ira actually eats and they don't like it, that could maybe be a showstopper. Like, nah, fuck that, I'm out.
At some
'Cause he sees
volume,
the back
we
of
need
it.
to see eating and we need to see sex at some point.
yeah. I don't. We're not going to get to the Ira sex in volume 2. We get to Ira talking about being in a committed relationship, which is cool.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But yeah, there's not. I can't. Yeah, we're gonna kind of stay away from the sex thing.
We don't really skew
It
that
never
way.
happens. There's always like the wind.
It fades out to black.
You see the curtains move. It fades out. You know?
It's behind a waterfall, and there's just a weird shadow.
There's a plant in the way. It's always
but see, you're speaking about when humans or humanoids make love, and there's like an actual kind of like. The audience understands how this is going to look, but when you're talking about a floating eyeball with wings, you don't know where it's going to go from that point.
So you could show it, and we wouldn't even know it's happening. That's what's the best is it could happen in the background, and then like 10 years from now, you could be like, "Oh, that's Ira having sex in the background."
You guys
so
are
no
weird.
one would know.
The weirdest burrito I've ever been a part of.
Sorry.
You've been a part of a lot of burritos.
We get that a lot.
As long as Ira's sex scene is set to like Berlin, Take My Breath Away or something like that, it'll be fine.
Correct. Yeah.
Like so, you know.
So you want to do a shot for shot Ira lovemaking scene?
Yes.
Todd wants
But it
9
has to be
panels.
with Goose, and he's already dead. He's like zombie Goose and Ira.
Ira.
Just a 9-panel. Just
It's a 9-panel grid just for you guys, so you guys will be so you guys will like it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we definitely did.
Yeah, they did.
Fun fact, one hasn't read it.
I haven't read it. I haven't read the Ash yet. I haven't read it.
read it. I read it, Bearded Comic Bro.
I'm going to go, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go to scoutcomics.com and I'm going to order it. And then I'll read White Ash and everybody
As
else.
soon as you can, because supplies may or may not be limited. So
Well, I mean,
you should
I
get
know
on
a
it.
guy. I know a guy. So I can
Oh,
probably.
you know somebody at Scout? Oh, weird.
Just one. We only know one guy at Scout.
Just one dude. You go to like a corner, like near your house, and you just hand off your scripts,
The thing
and
is,
they go to
well,
Scout.
no, the thing you don't know is Scout is an actual man. His name is Scout McGillicuddy, and he's the dude that runs the company. And so, like, we just give everything to. That's a nickname. Scout. His real name is
you
Walter.
heard it here first.
Oh, of course.
Walter Scout McGillicuddy is the guy who runs the company. And so we just give him all of our stuff and he yays or nays it. It's a really weird process. Like, have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
Yes.
It's kind of like that. Like, we have to get in a boat with the young Lawrence Fishburne and Martin Sheen, and we go up the river, and then we have to hack a water buffalo to death. It's really
the normal things you have to do to get into the comic
it's
industry.
a lot. Like, it's a lot. It's
We're like
tiring.
that line. We're errand boys. Grocery listing. You know, that line from Apocalypse.
I got
Now.
this is why Kickstarter is doing so well. There's less water buffalo sacrificing in Kickstarter.
The hardest to get a water buffalo in Cincinnati, Ohio. I mean, it's really difficult. The zoo, they keep wondering what's happening to their water buffalo, and I gotta keep explaining to them like it's not me. And the things that I've put in the water buffalo exhibits aren't just sawhorses with white on them. You know, it's a complicated mess.
Wooden like boards that have it painted on there.
Yes.
But I mean, this is how much we love comics, and we do it for Scout McGillicuddy. We just had this is what we
Thank
do.
you, Scout McGillicuddy.
And his son Scoot, right?
And yes,
I raise my beer to you, Scout
his
McGillicuddy.
son Scoot, and then his cousin Black Caravan McGillicuddy. It's a lot. It's a really big.
They have a big family to feed. Yeah.
They're like the Kennedys of comics.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about the Connecticut Scouts? The Connecticut McGillicuddies?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
So
If anybody has any questions about getting into the comic industry, I think they're all solved now. So
Yeah. All you need is a water buffalo and a connection to like a comics family.
If you move to Columbus, they have more water buffalo.
Okay, cool.
apparently.
I believe that. I believe that.
I love Columbus, Ohio. It's a cool town. I'm not a big Ohio State Buckeye fan, and that automatically puts me at like arm's length from people who live in Columbus, Ohio. But I dig Columbus. It's a cool town.
That's fine. That's okay. That's a good arm's length to be away from.
Now, Nick, right? Your name, Nick? Yes.
Yeah.
No, he's late. You could.
I'm late.
You could call him late.
I just want to know is because sometimes I'm bad. Yeah. So Nick, where are you from, buddy?
We're all
same
from the
same town as both these guys.
We started this in person.
Now,
Yeah.
where is
the
this
pandemic
town?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
We're in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay. Are you guys U of M fans or State fans?
We're state.
Okay,
Dad
you like
doesn't watch college.
State.
I think we're all.
I don't like college sports.
But if I
were to pick, I'd pick MSU.
Okay, I thought when you said I don't like State, I thought you just meant you don't like college in general. Like you're like I don't know, I don't agree with higher education. I think
Yeah, for college, honestly, right now I don't. I think it's a money making machine, and I don't agree with it. But that's a different. We don't need to go down that train.
but go green, go white.
Yeah, sure. Izzo's cool. Sure, let's go. But no, go Lions. It hurts, but it's true.
Is it?
It is.
I mean, 2 out of 3 of us
It doesn't
like the
have
Lions.
2 out of the 3 burritos are Lions fans.
3 out of 3 of us like the Lions.
That's true because you don't
my
think
number
that's
1
competition.
team. They're my number 2 because they are number 2.
What are you,
He's a-
7? Like you
He's
have
a Packers
Oh,
fan.
I have like 9. I was raised a Packers fan, so
Okay.
yeah. My dad gave up on the Lions long before I was born, so it's not my fault. It's his fault. Get him.
All right.
Thanks, Dad.
Go get him.
All right. Makes sense.
He's not watching the stream like Todd's does.
Your dad.
I know, right? I'm ready for my dad to pop up. He showed up in the live stream for the first time.
Maybe he is. He's never. Maybe he'll jump in. We'll see.
What are you doing with your life, kid?
Hi, Dad. Oh, this, and he's disappointed, but it's fine.
The answer is he's asking how flying eyeballs have sex. So
I'm not.
Oh,
psyched
he's
about
used to me. I've been asking that since I was like a little kid. I don't understand.
he told you about the birds and the bees, but he didn't tell you about the flying eyeballs and the Berlin song. So
Yeah, he didn't tell me about the eyeballs and the noses. He
Yeah.
only told me about the birds and the bees. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I gotta tell you, this is a lot of fun. You guys are. Do all of your interviews go off the rails this quickly?
Yes.
Oh,
or-
yeah.
It's what we do because you guys. How many interviews have you guys done?
before? Right?
We've done a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Is there a question that hasn't been asked that you wish would have?
No.
Oh, not really. Because
That's why we just do this.
answering questions are it's kind of weird sometimes because you're not sure like what exactly the question is. So sometimes you answer it wrong and then they have to rephrase the question. So I'm glad we're not having to do that. Like,
What question did Wendy asked us a really good question? Wendy Freeman. I forget her name on Twitter.
It's double page spread pod. Yeah,
Yeah, something. She asked us a really great question, and I can't remember.
it was like super insightful, and of course we don't have the answer for anything like that.
It was one of the first times someone was like, "Wow, no, that." Somebody asked, like, I can't remember. I wish I could remember what it was, but it was such a good question, and actually, like, kind of blew me away. I was like, "Wow, that's pretty good, pretty good."
Bearded knows it. It's every interview.
I mean,
that's why
Anthony Cleveland taught us how to make hot sauce the other day.
That's
so
fun.
that was pretty
Do you
cool.
guys know how to make hot sauce or?
Yeah, we know because Anthony Cleveland taught us.
Now, what kind
Do you
of
one up that or?
I mean, we could do all kinds of things, man. Like,
Are you a beekeeper? If you could tell us how to keep
No.
bees, I think
No.
that would be hot sauce making.
No.
No,
I'm trying to think if I have any kind of odd ability of that nature.
Like, what else?
we
Besides
Kevin
can
comics?
likes-
barely write comics. We
Kevin-
can
No, I'm not. I mean, again, no, I'm
Barely.
not. I think we don't need to disparage ourselves in such a fashion. I mean, we
Well, it's
are.
okay. You can because we literally have a fan club channel
Yeah.
for your work in our Discord. People know as much as if we do say anything disparaging, it's out of jest because this is fucking rad, and so is Ninja Nuns that you should pick up, and it's very obvious how awesome.
Now, have
Even
you guys
if we
read?
custom emojis.
Have you guys read
Yeah,
Volume 2?
there are custom emojis I made.
that's fun.
What? Are you serious? That's
Yeah, there's
amazing.
Metalshark Bro Brigade emojis in our Discord.
That's
I
fun.
love that.
Are we familiar? What were you asking if we've read?
Have you read Volume 2 yet?
Yeah,
The
it's right
first
here.
issue.
No, okay. But so you've only read the volume? Yeah, that's right.
That's what I read first.
If you want to, if you want to send me more volume 2 issues,
maybe I will.
I mean, maybe we will.
According to our people over at Scout, I just got off the wire with Scout McGillicuddy.
Yeah.
He doesn't use electronic devices, so I had to send a carrier pigeon.
He used a telegraph.
The pigeon just landed. I just took the note off of its leg, and it's scheduled for December 30th. So that's when it should come out. So volume 2 should hit stores December 30th.
Rolling in the new year with some Metalshark broke volume 2.
Yeah,
volume 2 issue 1 will hit then.
No, that's the whole trade.
That's the whole trade.
I'm like, that's what I have. I want more. Okay,
it's the nonstop format again, like the same thing.
Okay,
yeah.
Because we got Metalshark because we get some Scouts previews.
Nice.
And we got this really long time ago, and
like middle of summer maybe.
Yeah,
it's been done since summer. Yeah.
And it's just
we got 2 and I read it and I was like, I don't know what the hell this is, but I really like it. I read volume 1 and I was like, oh, this makes sense.
I read issue 1 of volume 2 first too because that's what we got, and I was just like, I don't know what this fever dream is, but I'm like on board. Let's do it.
About Metalshark, bro, they always tell you that you need to write your comic like someone can pick it up who's never read any of your work before and kind of get it. And I think you kind of get the vibe of it.
No, you get it. You're like, this is just madness.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for, really. Like,
Ira makes a lot more sense now after reading volume 1. Like, what the fuck?
Why is there this flying eye?
Well, see, that's interesting that you should say that because that was all Kevin's idea. Because when we were kicking all this stuff around, and Kevin and I came up with this idea on a car ride. I was driving back from Hampton, Virginia to Cincinnati, Ohio after a comic show. It was like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I called Kevin because I had this revelation. And so we started kicking around this idea, and that's how Metalshark Bro was born. Like, it was just kind of, for us, it was very much like a giggly fever dream.
Yes.
So I'm talking to Kevin, and we plotted out the whole first issue over like the 8-hour drive, right? Like the whole series was done in 8 hours. Like, we plotted it all out. It was just a matter of going home and writing it down. So as we're doing this, Kevin's like, he needs somebody. So like
we need somebody to bounce dialogue off of,
like a familiar or something. And I was like, all right, what do you know?
Jiminy Cricket, yeah.
What do you think? And he's like, Kevin just said, what about a flying eyeball? That sounds pretty rad. I was like, that works.
Give him a bowler hat.
Yeah.
That's Walter.
See, the bowler hat was Walter's idea.
Walter hat's Walter, yeah.
He's a good dude. He's a talented guy. He works amazingly fast.
It's better than a name.
Yes. Yeah. We wrote that joke specifically for the hat.
Yes.
Because Walter, when we were doing the designs, Walter's like, hey, can I give him a hat? And we said, yeah, sure. I don't give a shit. Like, what's more ridiculous than flying out of nowhere?
No, that would be too far.
One less weird, like, appendage though on the bottom. That's what, if you get the hat, one less weird appendage.
That was also kind of Walter, because when we had him in mind, he didn't have any appendages, and Walter's like, I was thinking, and when he drew things where like this was like, let's say this is Ira's wing, it's grabbing a beer. He was drawing things with Ira's wings grabbing stuff, and he's like, I think we could use like this viscera like hanging off the eyeball to be like his appendages. So like, and I was like, and he like drew a picture. It's in the first book on the back, and Ira's like holding a sword with a weird tentacly appendage, and he is like, so like for him to be able to manipulate stuff and be a more 3-dimensional character, I'd like to do this. What do you guys think? And I'm like, that sounds cool. And he's like, but we can like retract them. Like, it's retractable. Like, it can come in. Like, he can drag them in if he's got to fly. He can pull them out if he needs to use stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Because he holds a book too with them.
Yeah, he does all kinds of things.
He does all kinds of things.
They're very handy. Well,
he wears a tux with them, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. In the second volume, when we were talking about doing it, Walter was like, I want to put him in a tuxedo. So we put him in a tuxedo and like a James Bond thing. And then we just kind of had the idea of, let's just keep dressing him because it's ridiculous. So we just kept putting him in clothes. So I just wanted to put him in clothes the whole time. So yeah.
I mean, him, because I thought maybe he got like a body. But then you see him hold the martini glass, and I'm like, oh, shit. Jesus has a tux on.
He's just wearing a tux over the tendrils, which I thought was super fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and so we just dress him up throughout all of Volume 2. I think at one point he's dressed up like a
sailor.
Like a sailor.
Yeah.
There's a really good history in Volume 2 where Metalshark, he's dressed up like he's on like an African safari. And Metalshark Bro says to him, "Oh, Dr. Livingston, I presume," which is very
amazing.
So, I mean, we're really happy with the way it kind of
That's awesome.
worked out, But yeah, so we great, son. That's all.
We've got 2 questions. There's one credible and one not. We can start with the not credible question about your credibility.
About our credibility.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The non-credible question about your credibility.
Okay, sure.
What's your favorite band? What's
Metalshark
Metalshark
Bros'
favorite band?
His favorite metal band? Motorhead.
That's Metalshark Bros? That's canon?
That's Metalshark Bros.
He probably has like, I imagine
He's probably got like a top 10.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I would say
just becoming a shark, he's got a lot of pop culture references like infused into his head, which I love.
I see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, sharks have seen Star Wars. Somebody's dropped the TV down there playing Empire Strikes Back before. Come on.
And there's just some things that are just in the general consciousness that just kind of float around in the ether that like
when you become a person, it just happens.
just know.
You just know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say Metalshark Bro's favorite. Like,
I love the like censored things.
Yeah, that's which I see that you switched to Wingdings in Volume 2, though.
What do you mean?
For censored instead? Correct?
Oh.
Volume 2 switches to Wingdings instead of censored, correct?
I don't know. I don't know. What's a wingding? What are you talking about?
It's a font.
Yeah.
Like instead
font.
of saying fuck, they say F simple K.
Some of the stuff that's censored in Volume 1 are names of Star Wars characters. So we don't
Yes.
That too. But wasn't there a swear word also censored in Volume 1?
I mean, we said
I just reread it.
Yeah, I'm
we
pretty
censored
sure
more
he says
in
I'm
Volume
calling,
1.
and I assume that's bullshit.
I'm calling bull,
that.
and then it's censored.
Oh, weird. Okay. I don't know.
I mean,
call you on your own comment.
we were a lot more censored in Volume 1 than we were with Volume 2 because there was other things that we pulled out in Volume 1.
Pulling a lot of stuff out in Volume 1. I noticed.
Well, we didn't. I mean, if you got that, we did an ash can at Heroes Con, and that ash can had everything like it was very like Deadpool rated R when we first read it. It was very like every time
you didn't know
with the
where it was
fin.
going yet, I'm assuming, and all of that.
We weren't expecting it to go anywhere. We were expecting to kickstart it, so it was like he was saying "What the fuck" instead of instead of "What the fin," and then we were asked to change it to make it like more PG-13 at first. Like Bob said, I'm always the hardcore guy, so I'm like, fuck no, we shouldn't change that. Like it's amazing the way it is. We should leave it.
That'd be me. I'd be like, no.
I was like, no, and then he's like, it doesn't really change the context, Kevin. And I was like, all right, you're right, you're not wrong.
But the
like,
fin thing is great. This is one of the few times where I'm like, I've been cool without the swearing being involved because I do like, what's the fin?
And sometimes it's fun to kind of try to dance around.
Yes, it was more fun trying to create euphemisms for our swear words than it was to actually swear. So,
honestly, like I read through the Volume 1 today, and I thought I'm like, I kind of want to give this to my 13-year-old because I think he'd have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah,
whereas if all that stuff wasn't, and you had pushed it a little bit further, like. I don't know that the story would have been better, but I probably wouldn't have been comfortable doing that.
There's a point, too, I think, where like you can kind of get away with some of it's because if you go too far, then it's dirty and kind of illicit. But if you can kind of toe the line delicately, then it's just like, oh, this is just stupid fun.
Right.
It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's a difference between being like obscene and kind of rude and gross, and to being silly. That's where I think Metalshark Bro lies, like in a silly kind of realm, as opposed to like rude and crude, almost. If that makes sense, you know. Yeah. And Kevin and I, and somehow, some way, we were able to make this creature of Satan, this demon spawn shark thing, really likable.
Oh yeah.
We tried to make him very like sweet and like kind-hearted. Like he didn't want to have to kill those people, but like he wanted to be a shark again. So he's like, well, you know, it's not like the first time I've ever eaten somebody or killed somebody.
But
so
what
he's
kind
like,
of morality does a shark have?
Well, that's the question we're trying to get through to you. Like, what kind of morality does he have? Like, because by the end of it, he's like,
if they
he's
sold
not
their
really,
soul, isn't it already forfeit? He's not going around killing innocents.
That's true.
Like,
right.
he's killing people who forfeited their soul to Satan to gain something in life.
Well,
Fuck
he's
those
still
guys.
apologizing to them too.
Yeah.
He's still, and there's a guy in a comic shop. He's like, "Sorry, bro." So,
Yeah, that was great. There's a part with cooking that made me audibly laugh. I don't audibly laugh. Like, I'll do a lot of like inner like that's funny in my head, and a lot of like him with doing something to do with food made me like legitimately laugh because I was just like, that's so fucking ridiculous. Like, he's disguising himself.
That was actually Walter's idea with that whole sequence, because we set aside space for Metalshark Bro to kill backers for the Kickstarter. And Walter did all that in that 2-page spread. So all those people that get killed in the 2-page spread in the book, those are all Kickstarter backers. I left spaces in the book if we needed them. And Walter said, well, I killed everybody already. So we have
Killed everybody
with this page.
Oh, there's no one left.
yeah.
He kills the creative staff of the book. So,
awesome.
Kevin, you get hit by a car.
I get hit by a car.
You're getting hit. Oh, you're the car hitter?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's one where they were like, I'm just a writer.
But that montage is fucking hilarious.
I'm just an artist as Walter. That's Walter.
Oh, that's Walter. I'm just an artist.
Walter gets chainsawed. Kevin, you get hit by a car.
I get hit by a car. Bobby gets tied to the train tracks, and Chaz eats poison soup.
Yeah, Chaz
Oh, you're on the train tracks?
Yeah, I'm
That's
on the
Bobby.
train
Look,
track.
yeah, that's Bobby. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
couldn't tell now because I haven't had my haircut since quarantine.
Yeah, but his hair used to be.
Hey, me too. If you notice, there's a sweet headband on my head because this is uncontrollable now.
Yeah, that's where I am. But yeah, so that was just kind of a happy accident. That was just a fun sequence that we.
I love it. It's like my favorite montage in comics. It's just him and then the random, like, for one of them, he like is like real sneaky and disguises himself. But for the other ones, he's really overt and just like,
Oh, we just thought that him being sneaky and not being really sneaky, where like Ira's just got like a fake mustache on, and then I think Metalshark Bro has a trench coat on. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was our stupid like homage to like Columbo and stupid stuff where he would like go undercover or like.
And the thing, I had the thing in mind, like Raphael when he wears the hat,
the trench coat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when we did that, we were like, let's make them in disguise, but not really in disguise. And then like when he has to go in there, like what does he have to fight? And I'm like, we were tossing it back and forth, and then I think Bobby suggested some sort of like food item, and then I was like, what about demon donuts? Because like there could be a Bavarian cream moment where like it gets in Ira's eye or whatever, and then we were going back and forth with that.
Don't let the
Like
cream
how-
hit you, which
Yeah.
I also giggled at.
Of course you did.
And where I lost it was I screen grabbed it was finish her off, Metalshark Bro.
Yes,
I can't. I think she's celibate.
Yeah,
she's celibate. I died at that too. That was amazing.
I was like, all right, I'm sold. This is.
And
it.
every time coming comes up, and he's just like, second coming. It's just like, oh, it's so good.
That's what I'm talking about. The idea of being goofy but not overtly dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's something juvenile and silly about it. Like,
It's middle school versus like really like overt, like, whoa, that is disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because we're really 12-year-olds in 40-year-old men bodies. So
Which is great. I mean, to be honest, that's not surprising. We read your comics.
I think my 13-year-old will really like this book. Like,
But also I did too, which is what's awesome. We do have this is the credible question.
Okay, I like that.
We kind of talked about it before, but what's the scripting process like? Do you do a detailed script panel by panel or something a little more loose and descriptive?
We have written both ways. A Nuke Sky, I guess that's how you say it. Nuke Sky. We have written
New Guy? I think it's New Guy.
Is it
I
New
like
Guy?
Nuke
Okay.
Sky. Let's go with that.
Nuke Sky.
New metal.
Yeah.
It is like new metal. Yeah.
So, New Metal Guy.
Yes. Renamed. There you go, Ryan.
You basically
You're going to be killed in Volume 3, by the
way. We've written Marvel style before, which is like a loose outline script. We did that for the Good Fight anthology. So we did a story with our friend Drew Moss in that, and it was very Marvel style because it was just based off like the single idea, and then we just kind of it was basically almost like a paragraph. Like, this is what happens, this is the story, this is how it ends. And we've written that way before, and we both kind of contributed to it, but only one of us typed it out, but we both were sharing ideas back and forth.
It would be very hard to type it out. It would be like a ghost moment with you sitting in front of the machine and me controlling your hand.
Or you could be like CSI and just double keyboard it when you're getting hacked.
And it would be faster. But we did that before, and we liked it. But we know the artist super well, so it's like it's really hard to do with the artist you don't know very well. And then most of the time we do full script. So most of the time it's page 1, panel 1, description, dialogue.
The cool part about it is, though, the more you work with an artist, like Kevin was saying, with Walter now, it's very shorthand.
He really knows what we want. Yeah,
right.
Well, and we have a lot of faith and a lot of trust in Walter that he knows what we're going to want to see on the page.
When you put nipple pop in there, he knows what you're talking about.
No, that's all Walter, dude. Walter was all about the nips.
He's like, I got this.
I died during the
I know what they're looking for.
I was just like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Metalshark Pro's nipples played such a prominent role in Volume 1.
I know,
They're so
great they
aggressive.
got like that. They're so aggressive.
They're like Jennifer Aniston Friends nipples. Like, they are there.
They are there, and they help make you money.
Yeah, so it works out. We were
Just like Friends nipples.
Yeah, totally. Wait till we do Titty Shark Bro on Kickstarter. We're gonna make like $1 million. We're gonna break that Brian Polito shit, son. We're just gonna be stacking fucking chips and just bang, 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 money over money, son.
Yeah, take that, Scoot. You're not inheriting that. I'm buying it.
Yeah, so it's just kind of one of those things, man, where like with Walter, it's so easy to do because he knows what we want. And like, especially during action sequences, it's just like they fight. But we'll always tell Walter what we want the last panel to be during the fight.
Do you give them like they'll fight for a page?
Yeah, but 2 or 3
sometimes.
One of our favorite things.
2 pages fight and they end with this.
One of our favorite things to write is Kung Fu action.
Yes.
Karate.
There really is a script where it says that. That's not bullshit. That's really true.
There's a lot of script where it fucking.
What's funny is like the Kung Fu. There's the part where a karate chop isn't seen; it's just talked about too, which is funny.
Where he hacks the guy in half. But the thing is, it sounds stupid to say Kung Fu action, but if I say a bar
because
fight,
G.I. Joe.
Well, but if I write a bar fight, it's a very different kind of fight.
Yeah.
It's bottles and chairs and fists.
For sure. Yeah.
You
brawling. It's actually a fight.
Yeah. So it kind of works out. You know what I'm saying? So
look at this. We've got we both. Oh my god! Everyone's clicking it.
Not me.
What is happening?
I'm in a click-free
Thank you,
environment.
Lost in Comics.
Thank you. Lost in, I'm assuming it's Chosker, which is how I cover my bases because it's both of them. It's Chris and Oscar.
Yeah, very fun.
Chosker.
I feel like it's Chris. I feel like it's Chris.
Well, that's it's 90% of the time it's Chris, so that's a good guess.
No, but I'm putting my money right now.
You could always just ask them, like, which one is it?
Oh, I usually do.
But then they can catfish you and tell you
exactly. I don't trust them.
Oh, maybe it's been Oscar all along,
catfishing
pretending to be
Oscar,
Chris.
Then it's definitely Oscar.
It's been Oscar, and that's why he's been flaming us
the whole time.
So, what do you guys? We have like a few like our standard favorite questions.
Sure.
One of them is, what do you read outside of the, like, what do you read?
What are your books right now? Yeah.
And it can be regular books too, because you're writers.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
So, what are you reading?
I always like to know what people are reading like right now, but in general, yeah.
Like while we're interviewing, because you don't need to be paying attention.
Like just out of frame right now while you're talking to us. What are you reading right now?
I mean, I'd have to go get it, but I just picked up The Plot from Vault Comics.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but that's what I'm planning on reading tomorrow. Cool. And the last thing that I read was probably like 4 weeks ago when we did The Savage Shores. We had Ram V on our podcast. So and that was a great book. So
I've only read number 1.
Dude, it's worth going to buy the trade. It's so good.
I know. I really need to.
I think you really like the plot too.
His last
the plot of what?
Was it Green and Blue or Blue and Green or whatever it is?
Blue and Green. That came out from Image.
Oh
my God.
Is it good?
It's good. Phenomenal.
I have it upstairs. I haven't read it yet.
It's
stupid good.
Let's end this. Let's all go read it.
Yeah, let's all read it and we'll get back and we'll talk about it.
I'm down with that. I'm a slow reader though, so
it's much better than Metalshark, bro. Go read Blue and Green.
Read both. It's gonna be great. After you're done with Blue and Green, read some Metalshark.
Different comic experience.
Very different comic.
Yeah. What I'm reading right now is I'm reading. It's actually weird that because it's sitting here. I'm reading Two Towers, Tolkien's Two Towers, because I've never read it.
Dude, I've read it, but guess what I'm watching right now?
Well, I think it's just that time of the year where people.
I got the 4K because it came out 2 days ago, so I pre-ordered it in 4K Ultra HD. It's awesome.
Is it the extended edition though?
Both.
Okay.
And since it's on Ultra 4K, extended is on 2 discs.
Oh,
it's like the old days where you have to have multiple VHS. Awesome. It's amazing.
Todd also watches it at half speed, so it takes longer.
So we really get it. It's like a 12-hour experience.
Did it come with an elven cloak as well? Like Jesus Christ!
Yes.
And then
did you get a visit from the Nazgul at your fucking house?
Fly, you fools, fly! Yeah. Keep it secret.
Yes, I'm reading Tolkien right now.
Nice. And that's your first read through, so you've already done Fellowship?
I did Fellowship. My mother-in-law a couple of years ago bought me like a giant collection of all 3 of them with
That's the worst way to read it.
Yeah, it was fucking huge. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Big. Yeah,
it's like I'm reading an old phone book. So I read Fellowship that way, and I was like, "Dude, I can't do this anymore." So I went out and I bought a single copy of Two Towers. So I'm flipping through that now. I go through phases where I'll read like 2 chapters, and then I won't read it for 2 months, and then I'll pick it up. But right now, I happen to be in the middle of reading it, and then I'm also reading this book called "The Half That Has Never Been Told: Slavery and the Making of American Capitalism." Because my brain is odd that way, and I would get into these weird debates with people about history and the history of African Americans, this country of ours. And I saw this book, I saw this Slate article, and I was like, I want to read this. So I went out and picked it up and read it.
My last 3 reads were White Fragility, The Color of Law, and Raising White Kids.
That's awesome.
And I mean,
same vein. It's the same. And I've got mediocre on deck. I've got a whole cultural.
I would recommend. I've read like almost half of this book already, and I would highly recommend it because it kind of throws the idea that like slavery was, they treated their slaves wonderfully, and it was just a few blah 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 kind of thing.
That's terrible. That's not right.
The whole narrative on its head and how it changed and how it changed. The perception of American slavery changed because of like the Daughters of the Confederacy and all that shit after the war. It's really fucking interesting.
And also, everybody who's tried to speak out differently has been completely oppressed and silenced.
Yeah,
that makes a big difference too.
Really fun book, man. I would recommend it.
I'm going to follow you on Twitter. Could you send me a link or
sure.
that? That'd be great.
Cool. I sure will.
Thank you. Because that sounds amazing. It sounds right up my alley for something
really good. Really good.
To read. So,
and for something lighter, the other book, the book I read. No, it wasn't Metalshark Pro.
We always read our own shit.
Yeah, that's what I just read Metalshark Pro Volume 1 over and over again, and then I quote it to like shows, like because we don't even know like where the wingdings are. So I mean, how would I have read it? Throne of the Crescent Moon, Saladin Ahmed. it's pretty cool. Like it's a fantasy book set in like an Arabic kind of like Dungeons and Dragons fantasy setting. It's really a great book. I finished that, and then I started another fantasy book by N.K. Jemisin called Pillars of the Earth. But I haven't finished that yet.
Ooh, I haven't read that.
Well, because it's interesting because I was talking to my daughter's 5th grade class the other day because my daughter the teacher has this thing called Person of the Week, right? So like the Person of the Week gets to like present something about themselves, and then their parents come on and read a book to them.
That's cool.
So I came on and I read a story to my daughter's class, and they know that my daughter has told them that I'm a writer, and they know that I'm a writer. So the teacher was asking me like, well, what's advice that you give to young writers? And the first thing I told him was read. You have to read because you'll pull in so many other ideas and how to get things done and see how different people tell stories and how they tell them, in their own kind of way. Like on our podcast recently, we've referenced Elmore Leonard like 1,000 times recently for some reason, because like Elmore Leonard tells a story very differently from fucking Tolkien. You know what I'm saying? If you've never read Elmore Leonard, he's very kind of, he budgets his words and he tells the story very quickly.
Are you saying Tolkien doesn't do that? What are you talking about?
My favorite Elmore Leonard quotes is, cut out the stuff people don't want to read. So Elmore Leonard and his work does that. So you can burn through Elmore Leonard novels like they're going out of style. So that's, so it's interesting.
You would love it.
Pick up some Elmore Leonard books. They're wonderful.
I will.
But you can, but you can learn how to tell a story. You can learn different techniques, styles, and different influences. So that was the advice that I gave my daughter's 5th grade class that I'm giving all of you. Just read stuff.
Thank you.
I wish I had that advice when I was in 5th grade. Really.
Because I remember growing up as a kid, reading was work. Like you had.
Oh yeah. I've had that conversation with a few people recently since getting into comics, because I haven't been into comics that long. It's been maybe 3 years or so, and I've recently kind of realized that it's that storytelling that I've really grappled onto, and it's like where was that when I was in high school and middle school and stuff? I mean, like grammar and literature were some of my least favorite classes.
That's because you're in the 7th grade and you're reading fucking Wuthering Heights. And you're pouring over every word because
that book.
Yeah, that sucks. And you're pouring over every line of every word because you don't know where your teacher's going to pull her quiz question from and what he was thinking at
Falling Apart. I had to read Falling Apart in 9th grade, and I was a reader. Like in third grade, I read Dracula for the first time. Like, I loved reading. I was because they gave me like, this is your reading comprehension. Here's a list, and I saw Dracula on there. I was like, I'll read that. That's fine. Not a good idea for a 2nd or 3rd grader. Don't recommend it. Even if your school says you should, you shouldn't give that to a 3rd grader. Bad idea. This comes out.
Yeah.
Not healthy.
You end up growing up liking Metalshark, bro. And
I don't think you learn how to read for enjoyment at that age. You're reading because it's work, because you have to
and that's the problem. You gotta get something that really pulls you in. And thank God I had comics, because that's, I think, what kept me tied into reading at that age. My dad had a very large comic collection that he wasn't huge on currently, but he had this like huge like 90s and 80s X-Men and Batman collection up in the attic, and I would grab a stack and I'd go read, and it was for fun. And if I didn't have that for fun, I think from like 5th to 8th grade I would have never read for pleasure. If it wasn't for comics, because nothing would have really grabbed me, because I wouldn't have known what to read for fun.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I think school is changing, and education is changing in some aspect, because my daughter, her first 5th grade book report that she did was on Smile, the Raina Telgemeier book, because she can pick what she wants.
Yeah, you know, pick what they want to now. That's great.
So she's actually getting to read for enjoyment, as opposed to like, here's Wuthering Heights, read that. Here's The Outsiders, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The Outsiders is a cool movie, and Pony Boy is awesome, and we should all do it for fucking Johnny, man.
Do it for Pony Boy. State gold.
Pony
Pony Boy.
That book was not enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, especially to a sixth grader. Like, what do I know about? Like,
Here's the giver. You are
gang.
too young to understand these themes, but like, fucking read it.
I went back and read that, like, because I was going to give a copy to my niece, and I was like, man, why did I read this book as like a fifth grader? This is some messed up shit.
That's not for a fifth grader. Like, the giver should not be given then.
I shouldn't be reading about a kid who gets stabbed in a fountain as a seventh grader.
No, you should be reading, like, Smile.
Yes.
That's perfect. I love that. That's, oh my goodness. I have a kindergartner, so I'm really hoping that this catches on, because I'd love to actually like set her up with real books that she might actually enjoy, instead of being like, sorry, baby girl, you gotta push through.
I will go to my grave saying that Wuthering Heights was the worst fucking book I've ever read. Like, and Heathcliff is an asshole. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
I mean,
he sucks.
I mean, on that point, like, Anne Rice books are the worst books I've ever read. Just to be honest,
I've never read any Anne Rice. Okay,
you don't want to. It's the fucking.
I've read some Anne Rice,
and people are gonna hate on me for saying this. There's gonna be somebody, and you're gonna be like, "Oh,
there's only like 4 people. It's fine."
Okay, so people hate it now, but I'm okay with it, because Anne Rice wants to tell what color the velvet curtains are and how the lace hung in the room with Lestat walking in. And I'm like, oh, I just need to know that he walked into the. I don't need to know what the fuck happened. My can do the rest of the work. You don't have to do it for me. It's not that lazy.
But I really need to know if I don't know what thread count the sheets are, I don't really know how to understand it.
Yeah, how comfortable are they?
You see, I mean, that she does put that in there, so I think that's crazy too. Because I'm like, how did Lestat's vampire senses know that was like definitely 1,000 count Egyptian cotton? Like, how did like, is that part of your vampire powers too, to be like, I should sell you these bed sheets because they're 1,000 count Egyptian cotton?
Well, but I think
you're gonna like them better.
That's a vampire thing, of course. That's why they actually are in coffins, because it's less expensive to furnish.
Yeah,
than a
higher thread
bed.
count. Higher thread count.
You can get the higher thread count,
And that's why they're immortal, right? It's because they have nice sheets.
But I think
Trade secret, that one's free.
As a writer and as a creative, I can set the tone for a hotel room being super fancy just by saying it's a fancy hotel.
It's fancy.
You know, like people at the bar sipping martinis and wearing tuxedos. I'm in a fancy place. Like, this is a fancy place.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to go into
he has a tendril wrapped around his martini glass, and he's like, "Hello."
That's exactly how it starts. That's exactly how it starts. So
Lobster Thermidor is sitting in the corner waiting for them.
Everyone is eating shrimp cocktail, and it's wonderful.
But one of your commenter said something about Octavia Butler. That's one of my favorite sci-fi authors. So I love Octavia Butler. So like, she's great. So it was like it was way further back.
Okay.
So I mean,
Also,
you guys were busy talking about education. So so I love Octavia Butler. So
that's the first time that's been a problem.
some of her sci-fi is like so like body horror creepy. Like there was a story I read, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but like it was about these aliens basically harvesting humans to supplant their eggs in them, and they basically are your friend until they can do that or whatever. It was such a weird book, but it was so good.
I think this is the first Justin Birch run-in where he didn't letter the interviewer's book.
So
sorry, Justin.
Can't get them all.
Metalshark Volume 3.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love her work. It really is awesome. I mean, like, my all-time favorite's Isaac Asimov. I can't not. If we're talking like sci-fi, Isaac Asimov will always be like.
Now, have you guys read the thing that Dark Horse put out with the William Gibson aliens? You guys have? Okay. Because I have. I don't think
they have.
No, I want to get that. Because William Gibson wrote some really cool, like, he was like basically cyberpunk before cyberpunk was cool. Mm-hmm. And so when they said he was going to write the alien script, like he should have wrote it. By all means, I think it would have been great. I think it would have probably
Are
been
you
better than
talking
what we got.
Alien or Aliens?
I think it's Aliens, the second one.
Aliens.
It's Aliens. Okay, because
Second
I find that hard to believe because the Aliens movie is such a people love that one more than
I
one.
do like it the way it is. I'm not
Because
gonna
it's
lie.
it's more accessible than the first
It's
one.
an action film.
Yes, it is more. It's a sci-fi action film.
Yeah, it's
One better
because
myself.
that's one of my
The first one's a horror
favorite.
film. The first, it's
I
a sci-fi film.
love suspense. So
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Hollywood stories that are out there is James Cameron when he's pitching Aliens. He just goes to a whiteboard, he writes alien on it, and then he puts the S at the end and makes it a $sign, and they literally go, okay, let's do it. Like that's literally it. And I love that.
He had so much carte blanche at the time, though, because Terminator was fucking
What he
smoking.
needed to do.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that guy. I mean, say what you want about Cameron. He's a
Genius. If nobody wants to say something otherwise, I will come at them.
he is a money making machine. I mean, because
He's a genius.
tell me anything you remember about Avatar except the fucking goggles.
Navi.
One of the people were handicapped.
That's it.
They were blue.
Yeah.
Marine.
Hair sex.
Yeah.
It's Dances with Wolves in Space.
Yo,
Yeah,
man,
like
dandelion thing.
I love
Space Marines.
I love me some Dances with Wolves.
I like. How do you not like? I mean,
Kevin
we were talking about this the
Costner.
other day. How do you not like Kevin Costner?
I
Like,
love that dude.
I mean, we both like we both like Waterworld.
You guys
So,
are Waterworld fans?
Waterworld's
Yes, we love Waterworld. Both of
Fuck
us.
yeah.
Yeah,
I grew up
Waterworld.
with that on my TV. Like that was a daytime movie thing, and I was just like, I don't understand what's happening.
Have you
but I
guys
fucking-
seen Underwater? The
No,
Kristen
I have
Stewart. Do you have HBO?
Yeah.
Or HBO Max? Yeah, it's available for free. You go watch it. It's Kristen Stewart. It's a Lovecraftian underwater movie. How could you not want
All
to
right,
see
you said
that?
Lovecraftian. I'm there. I got you.
How could you not want to see that? Like
Underwater Lovecraftian.
This is fun
Yes.
because I feel like we're all learning so much. You know?
it is cool.
We've got people in the chat who say they want to follow us on Twitter. If you want to follow us on Twitter, my name is at
They're both. We got the links to down
at
here.
France BFRANTZ. That's me, Kevin. You're what? At Kevin_Cuff.
Yes.
So yeah, man, and you know we have a good time. We like to do a lot of things. We're fun ass dudes. You know, at the end of the day, you have to be fun ass dudes.
Ass
to write
dudes.
Metalshark,
Yeah.
bro. You just have to be a fun person.
Fun and ass dudes.
That's
yeah.
yeah.
Is somebody in charge of the puns?
Oh
like
yeah.
the
Who's
references.
the punny guy?
That's
Because
both of us, we're
Yeah.
both dads,
thank
so
you,
we have
because-
dad jokes.
Do
We both
you
have dad
have
jokes.
like okay, it's been 2 pages. We need one. Like,
No, I think
there
we
a
try
rule?
and do. We try to do as many jokes as we could fit in a page because we never know what's
Yeah.
going to land. Because in comics, when you're writing jokes, like you never know when someone's going to laugh. So you're like, if you miss them with this one, you'll hit them with the next one. So like, so you might miss the first swing, but you go and get them with that uppercut. So that's the next. So like a lot of them are jabs, and then we throw a big one in on every page. There's like and we went back and forth with the jokes. Like this is a fun joke for this, and there's a few cool jokes that we had to cut out of Metal Shark Bro Volume 1. Just because like it didn't fit anymore basically with what we had to do. But we plan on reusing that particular joke. I mean, I talked about this the other day. We're going to use it someplace else.
Eventually, we'll
Yes.
get there. We'll
We're
get to
gonna
the
get
lost Metal Shark bro joke.
Yes.
But-
because
but yeah,
because it was that
backlog.
good of a joke. It was that good of a joke that we want to use it someplace else.
yeah, save it. Yeah.
But there,
Yeah.
but like you said earlier, Todd, there are different levels of like, oh, that's clever, or ha ha ha, that's really good. You know, so it's just kind of one of those things. Yes, we are serious about us being on your podcast. We can do that. We can make that happen, Todd. So yeah, because Kevin and
we're
I,
gonna wrap soon then because
Yeah.
we're gonna go on their podcast.
yes, because Kevin and I do a podcast called Word Bros.
Yes, please, yeah, plug that.
where we
You can follow it on Twitter
yeah.
at
Word
Word
Bros
Bros Podcast.
Or just search us on iTunes. We're there. We've got 93 episodes. We kind of talk to various comic creators and retailers and people in general. We just talk process, man. Like we talk about making books. A lot of the times we just end up
that's
talking.
great.
I dropped it in the chat too.
There you
Yeah,
go.
a lot of the times we just end up talking because I feel like the work will come and go, but if your audience can like the person, making the work, then they will like the work more, if that makes sense.
That's why oh my God, the amount of Kickstarters I have back since we've started doing this is ridiculous.
Yep.
It's not okay how much more money I've spent since I've met all these people, because I'm like, I really like you as a person and your work is really good, son of a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes back to me getting into comics and talking to Cole about it and finding out like Cole was the first person to tell me like he follows, like, if a writer does a book, he pulls the book. Like, not just
I didn't do this before this podcast.
I like this character, I like this thing, but it was like, he's like, yeah, if Jeff Lemire writes a book, I pull it. And it was like, oh, I'll try that too.
I mean, that's the perfect way to do it, technically, because the writer is gonna dictate the pace and stuff. Now, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of artists, because
it's the same thing for artists. If a certain artist,
I mean, if Dustin Wynn does something, I'm probably gonna grab it.
A good artist can save a bad writer. A bad writer cannot say a good writer cannot save a bad artist. So it doesn't work that way in comics. It doesn't work that way. So
I agree. I can't not.
No, hey, Comic Burrito. It's at Word Bros Podcast. Word _Bros is our original Twitter, but we forgot the login information. So we had to create a whole new.
Bobby had the brain that day. It's all Bobby's fault. He had the brain that day.
It's totally my fault. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had an email address.
Amazing. You actually have that OG one.
Yeah. I forgot all the login stuff, and I couldn't. Like, I got a new cell phone, and for the number.
I felt bad because I'm following the real one. I wasn't following Word _Bro, and I was like, that seems weird, but okay.
Yeah, you follow. It's Word Bros Podcast.
Yeah, I think I just dropped a new one in there,
which is funny because we have like 2 years of pods up there. So when that happened,
the thing is,
so happy.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
It's why I'm worried about Nick being in charge of our Twitter, because I'm just ready for it to just not be accessible.
You
at some
have no
point.
idea how many accounts I cannot access. You have no.
That's why. No, I'm aware. I worked with you for long enough, knowing you've like struggled to get into accounts. I'm like, Nick's our Twitter guy. We're just gonna lose our Twitter at some point.
And in fact, all the time when somebody's like, "What's your Twitter?" I'm like, "Let me check." I don't even know what it is.
I don't know anymore.
It's hard to keep up with.
Somebody already has at Comic Burrito, so
they've
never used it. Like,
wait a minute, there's another Comic Burrito.
They've never cited Burrito.
No, they've never even tweeted it.
All the time I report it as spam, hoping that it'll get canceled.
Ban.
Twitter will ban it, and the name will be available, and we can just drop the.
That's gonna be the problem in 2200. There will be no such thing as unique names anymore. It's just not gonna be a thing.
Wow.
So
Metalshark Bro.
Before we
stupid enough to come up with that.
It'll be Metalshark Bro 429 _
So before we wrap this and we get over to your podcast, Cole has a very important question for you.
This is probably the best question, and I would assume this is original.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Yes, the dinosaur is named Spielberg for a reason.
Perfect. We have a second one. What's the project you guys have always wanted to write for?
Oh yeah.
If you got to choose an IP that already exists, what would be your dream project?
Your big 2 book.
Or like it can be anything.
It can be anything, but it's usually a big book.
We've tossed that back and forth a few times, so it depends on which one of us you talk to on what day. So with us, I mean, for me, it'd probably be, and we're both amicable to doing, like, if we got one or the other, it's not like I would be mad that.
Yeah, I'm not turning anything away from the.
Yeah, right.
That's
I don't want to.
Here's a sack of money. Can you do this? Okay.
Beneath me, how dare you insult me with your bullshit?
That's not Dr. Fate. Fuck off.
Yeah, for DC, I think for us the list would be, I think mine are Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, like buddy cop comedy that would be like it'd be like comedy action. So I wish that DC would put us onto that. I know Bobby wanted to do something with Hawkman. We had talked about doing something. We talked about doing something with Hawkman because it would be weird.
Hawkman run.
Yeah, I've read the first couple issues of the Hawkman run. I heard it's killer.
It's so good, man.
Well, the thing is, I never understood how they could fuck that up. He's a guy with giant wings and a mace. Like, make that work.
Do it. Swing it.
It writes itself.
He reincarnates. He can do so many things.
So for
he
DC,
can die at the end of every issue. Just go for it.
he can die multiple times, and you can still have Hawkman come back. So like,
and it makes sense. It's perfect.
And then we talked about things like the weirder things we wanted to do would be like a Blue Devil reboot. Because it's like a character that it's not like quite supernatural, but we would want to make it more steeped in the supernatural and like weird. Because we could do that really well.
Yeah.
So like those are things that we talked about doing for like DC. And then when we talked about Marvel, it's a buddy cop thing because that's just what we do well. So it'd be Power Man and Iron Fist would be my number one.
Oh my god!
I think Bobby's number one would be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I would like to do Spider-Man, but I mean, I don't have
that's A list. So, but maybe
Marvel's like, give me a Spider-Man idea. You're like, fuck, I know.
The only thing I would do,
pictures of Spider-Man.
the only thing I would do with Spider-Man is just give him a kid and be like, there it is.
That's
Like,
what we talked about. Yeah, he'd have he'd be a dad. He'd be a dad.
every time they get to a certain point with Spider-Man as,
Where he
as
could?
a human being, he automatically devolves. You know,
Into a college student or something.
Yeah, like
Yep.
now,
All of a sudden he's a graduate student again. It's like, fuck off! No.
you've been a principal, you've been a teacher, you've been a mad scientist, you've done all this stuff, but then I open a Spider-Man book and I still love him. Like I think next
his mad scientist run, I gotta say, is maybe one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, Superior Spider-Man was great.
Superior Spider-Man was fucking rad.
It was awesome.
And at first when I saw this, I was like, no, and then I was like, yes.
That's how I felt. I was like, you're ending this? Fuck you. And then I read it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
It was weird. It was like,
All right.
it was like, I felt the same way about it. I was like, what are you doing to Spider-Man? I'm going to hate this. And I read it and I was like, this is super fun.
Oh, never mind. This is the best I've loved Spider-Man in like 3-5 years.
Yeah.
Like,
I have one Fantastic Four idea. One.
ooh,
Just one. And I don't know how familiar you are.
Johnny Ice.
No. I don't know how familiar you are with the Fantastic Four kind of terminal in the world, if you will, but did you read Hickman's run on Fantastic Four? Okay, so you know all the reads, right? There's all the
all the
from
reads.
different universes.
Yep.
There's got to be Sues in these different universes.
Yes, there does. Thank you.
There has to.
How is there only reads?
So if there's all these reads, there has to be a Sue, and somewhere in one of these worlds is a disgruntled Sue, and she kidnaps the original Sue and divorces Reed to make him like an asshole and turns everybody against him.
Yes.
That's right.
And Mary's Namor. And Mary's Namor just to like,
Yes.
That's
He goes have a Namor baby, an invisible
Yes.
Atlantean baby.
yes.
she turns the Marvel universe against Reed. And so
Well, that
the only-
needs to. It's crazy that it doesn't happen more
the
because
only
fuck
place-
that guy.
The only place Reed could go is Doom. So it's basically him,
Oh.
Doom, and the Thing against like Franklin and everybody else. Because I mean, Franklin would probably side with his mom because sons and moms.
But
go
it wouldn't
together.
be Franklin. It wouldn't be Franklin anymore.
Yeah, but that's
It would
my,
be
Yeah.
Namor baby.
He's grown
Namor baby.
Namor baby.
Namor baby.
that's my Fantastic Four idea.
It's like baby
Namklin.
You know,
But
It's
not as
Namklin.
there's got to
like-
be a Sue. There's got to be a Sue out there who's
That'd be
pissed
dope.
off.
It's a baby in a Speedo. You're going to
The
love
darkest timeline Sue has got to happen.
Because that's the first thing I read. Like when I read Hickman's Fantastic
Then, yeah.
Four, I said, "There's all these reads. There's got to be a Sue out there who's mad that she never landed him."
Yeah.
So
You
that's
see, it's just
So
whatever.
that was the other one we talked about would be Fantastic Four. And then any Marvel C-list. I like a lot of Marvel C-list characters apparently because I'm
There's
not
a lot
really
of them.
I mean, I would try and take a stab at the Hulk, but because I love Peter David's Hulk, it's like my favorite thing ever.
It's hard to stab.
I mean, but like the rest of it, like I don't know, man,
New shit
because
is
Marvel's
good.
hard.
the new shit is
Marvel's-
good.
Yeah, like the,
Immortal Hulk is one of
it's
the best things they
fantastic,
got
yeah.
going right now.
I would like to also write like a Thing 2 and 1.
yes,
I know
that's what we
they
talked
did-
about the thing.
I know they did it to bring back like the Fantastic Four for a little while, but I would like to do a continuous like 80s version of The Thing and various people doing one-shot stories.
We also
Not Thing 1 and 2, not the Dr. Seuss Thing 1 and 2.
No, that's my other idea. There's The Thing 1 and 2, like them going off in like a Pulp Fiction style, like Sam Jackson, John Travolta thing.
Ends with them in like weird like t-shirt and shorts. And then it works back from there.
The whole idea of the Cat in the Hat being Marcellus Wiley, and so it just kind of runs from there.
Nice. And then the briefcase has his soul in it. It's great.
The briefcase has green eggs and ham.
Yes.
Oh my god, amazing.
That's why it's glowing.
That's why.
Jeez.
Because green eggs and ham glow, obviously.
Apparently they
Use your brain.
How else are you going to get gamma irradiated, Todd?
That's how Bruce Willis becomes Hulk.
I mean, Bruce
And he was dead the whole time.
He was dead the whole time as Hulk.
Isn't he Bruce Banner?
That's why he's immortal.
David Bruce Banner.
All right, now Cole has
the real
the
important question.
And the Thing Cosmic Wrestling. We want to do that someday.
Ooh.
Yes, because we would kill that.
Hell yeah.
Cole, ask your question.
Describe your perfect burrito.
Most important question.
Okay. Kevin, do you want to go first?
No.
No.
That was an easy answer.
Fuck no.
There's gotta be guacamole on there.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get the guacamole. I try to stay away from dairy, but I really like sour cream.
Yeah,
but I think sour cream and guacamole together are redundant in their consistency.
In their consistency.
You can do it, but you
flavors,
definitely don't have to. You definitely
I think one or the other is good. So I'm going to stick with the guacamole because it's more of a
That's the better choice.
It's more of a healthy fat than a dairy fat, and the dairy gives me the thoughts. So I'm going to try to stay away from that. I'm probably going to go with the thoughts.
It's giving me the thoughts over here. Oh man, I can't have the beans over here. I'm going to just fall everywhere.
So, and then I'm going to go with maybe like a carnita kind of thing. Ooh. Like I don't want ground beef. I don't want chicken. I'm thinking like a carnita burrito.
Like a shredded thing?
Yeah, like a shredded beef.
Like a shredded thing? Okay. All right.
I've heard good things about green chile salsa, but I'm not big on that. I don't know.
I heard good things, but I don't want it.
I've seen the reviews.
He's like, I've never had this before.
The reviews are good, but I haven't had it.
I'm just saying. This is what I heard. I don't know. I haven't.
Hey, it's just what I heard over here. It's what's on the streets over there.
Maybe I haven't had like a good green chile sauce, like a homemade or anything like that. So I'm
salsa verde. Are you talking salsa verde?
No, because there's green chiles too that they.
No, I'm just making sure. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I guess then some beans, some black beans. I like black beans. Yeah. And maybe a little cheese just to kind of flavor it up a little bit. That's
so basically it's an Art Vandelay from Moe's.
I really like Moe's, and when I go to Moe's, I always get the nachos because they have tasty nachos.
Ooh.
So,
all right,
is it a tortilla wrapped? Is it a burrito?
Dude, I found the best tortillas. Because that's what I like to do. Because
you made your own tortillas.
No, I don't do that because I got shit I got to do. I got kids I got to raise.
I can't mix flour and water. Fuck this shit.
Shit's got to rise and stuff, and I ain't got time for
it. He's just going to the store and buying some tortillas. That's what he's doing.
I found this really good brand of tortilla that's got like 5 ingredients in it, son. It's in
Scout.
Yeah, Scout turned me on to him. Scout McGillicuddy. He's like,
Scout was like, "Here's some fucking tortillas, man."
Gotta check these out.
We like the Costco tortillas. That we make our own tortillas.
Those flour tortillas from Costco are
we really do. We make our own.
I'll go get them.
I'll get them while Kevin talks about his burrito.
It's so easy to buy those.
God,
that's just like him to not give a shit about my burrito.
That's the third person to run off to grab tortillas ever.
I went off to get another beer. I had a good excuse.
That is a good excuse.
I mean, who knows? These tortillas could be game changers.
So we've got tortilla. We've got
carnita.
We got carnita. We got guacamole.
Is it good?
We've got cheese. We've got black beans. So that's Bob's. Kevin, hit us with your perfect burrito.
I'm gonna go with a bowl because I don't really like tortillas, man.
That's fine. That's okay.
You're the
I don't
first
think we've had a bowl yet. Though.
You're the first
You
bowl.
haven't had a-
You are the first bowl.
You gotta smoke a bowl if you're going to be on Comic Burrito.
Yep. Oh yeah, Nick swears by that. If you don't have a bowl, you can't be on Comic Burrito.
That's the real reason I was late.
and then he liked High Ira and it's like, did you get the High Ira yet?
Yeah.
Did you get the High Ira? High Ira yet? You
Hira.
got to it? You got the High Ira
Hira.
in the books.
Have you read Volume 2, Issue 1?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. You read it before you read it.
Yeah, you read it first.
Where Ira started.
Ira did it because he's got
Ira.
Because he's got the munchies.
He already had his burrito bowl. So
That
he's
was
not
our stupid
remembering.
idea. Like when they captured him, instead of him being able to use his eye laser stuff, they just got him really fucking stoned.
No, I love that. I think it's amazing. And when we were doing, what I pictured is they're smoking and blowing it at his eye.
No, he was smoking it and they got him stoned. So what happened was when Walter gave us the art for that, when we were going through, I was like, "No, man, he's not pink enough." So like Walter went in and made him more pink. And then Kevin was like, "Well, let's give him a Cheech and Chong beanie." So we gave him the Cheech and Chong beanie.
The orange beanie, yeah.
So it just kind of works out.
So it's like you get the idea without us having to like go like we just did and
He's
tell
not
you.
like, hey, you smoked a lot of marijuana.
No, because then we do say, "Ira, are you high?" And then he's
Yeah,
like,
no, you ask him.
what are you, an art
Are you a
kid?
narc?
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking narc. Nick, what's weird is you missed it because Nick was late. Nick, every time he signs on and goes, "You guys are fucking narc." Every time he signs on.
So
Well,
Kevin, you got a burrito bowl.
A burrito bowl. It'd probably have refried beans, some sort of shredded chicken,
Oil.
guacamole, sour cream. Because despite the consistency,
Worth it.
because you gotta have them both.
and you got to
Because
pay for it. It's expensive. I ain't got that
you
kind
know
of money.
what?
You go to Chipotle. It's already
The
mixed in.
perfect burrito just comes to you naturally.
Not
It
enough
just
people-
shows up.
Yeah, perfect burrito has no dollar sign.
I said, not enough people bought fucking volume 1, so I can't afford guac and
Well, that's right.
Guys,
People gotta go buy
Five
volume
volume one, so he can get his perfect
What am
burrito.
I, a Rockefeller?
That doesn't sell you.
What am I, a McGillicuddy? I can't afford that.
We ain't the heads of Scout McGinnis.
Yeah, I'm not Scout McGillicuddy. I can't afford my perfect burrito.
I barely got enough money to put gas in the boat to head up the river, son. Like
This
that.
is
Oh,
this,
jeez.
this is why this is just a dream.
Be fine.
This is just a this comic burrito bowl is just a dream. It may never happen. But
Burrito bowl, guacamole, sour cream, shredded chicken,
you know,
refried beans. What kind of condiments we talking? We talking salsa, pico de gallo, hot sauce?
we talking hot sauce for sure. Because I mean, if you saw anything about the Metalshark Bro Kickstarter, you know I drank hot sauce to get that.
Are we at like jalapeno or like ghost pepper?
No. I
Habanero?
drank ghost pepper hot sauce to get that funded, and
Right.
and I did a toe
yeah.
of Satan. I did a toe of Satan.
He did.
It was awful.
Because what we
Yes, it is.
It was awful.
what we discovered early on was for Metal Shark Bro Volume 1, we were asking for such a large amount of money to get this book made, and we had a very low profile. Like Walter had done some Kickstarters, we had done some Kickstarters, but nothing of this magnitude. So, I mean, I have a lot of friends on Facebook because of a career that I used to have back in the day. When I lived in Virginia, I was on commercial radio, so I have all these friends that would follow me because of my radio career, but they kind of stuck around after I got canned. So I have like 3,000 friends on Facebook or whatever. Cool. So when we were trying to, I block a lot of people. What we do, when we were trying to get this money to get this book made, Kevin and I basically turned our Facebook feeds into like little comic cons. Like we would hop on live, and
nice.
talk. We would talk to our social media audience and be like, hey, man, this is what we're doing. This is what we're looking for. This is the book. Oh, hey, kind of like what you guys do during your live stream. We were doing that on Facebook Live, and it kind of turned into like a Jerry Lewis telethon where like we were doing dumb shit for money. So Kevin would be...
We're at 10,000 right now. If we get to 11,000, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to drink some fucking hot sauce.
I'll drink some ghost pepper hot sauce in a shot glass.
You clearly saw the videos because would happen. Like Kevin would go on his because I can chit chat, I can talk for hours on end to myself because I did radio for such a long time. So it's not.
I don't like to do that.
I did radio too, so this is fun.
So Kevin would have to resort to like fucking parlor tricks where he's drinking hot sauce and shit.
Yes.
But it worked because Kevin would go on and be like, all right, I'm going to drink hot sauce. If we get 3 backers, I'll drink a shot glass full of hot sauce.
And they got to be for $50 because we need to get $150 on the board. So I will drink this shot and then I would pour it right there with the camera on in front of everybody.
Amazing.
And with the hot sauce right there and hold the hot sauce up and be like, this is legit. I'm gonna drink this.
That's how you
get to this.
I mean, for $50, I might do that.
Hell yeah!
I mean,
50, if somebody wants to send us $50 right now, I will drink any liquid I have in my house.
The toe
any liquid.
The toe of Satan came when a guy I worked with was like, "So what if I back for $200?" And I was like, "I'll do the toe of Satan. The toe of Satan if you back for like, how about $250 like right now?" And he did it. And so then I did a live stream for him at the end where I was like, we have the fun,
I'm so sorry that you put yourself
that.
That hurts.
It was 9 million Scoville units. You couldn't hold it in your mouth in one space for too long because they said it would blister your mouth. So I had to keep moving it.
Hurt you.
And it put a tear in my eye, but like I did
only
hit
one?
it.
Just one.
Only one, yeah. 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes.
Wow.
5 minutes.
We did it, and that's the thing. So, like, we had to kind of come up with ways to make this money for this first volume, and it worked. So, like, we have no problem using social media to our
we have no problem debasing ourselves.
No, not at all.
It's a really great way to kind of connect with an audience.
It is.
You know, and it's a really great way to like monetize social media because why else would I be on fucking Facebook?
Right.
And there's no.
I agree. That's why I'm not on Facebook. I don't have Facebook anymore.
Everybody else is making money from Facebook. Why can't I try to make a couple bucks? And it works.
I'm going to take some Zuck money.
Yes.
You know,
and do say, but like I'm going to take some Zuck money on the side. But like at the time, like $205 or a toe of Satan didn't sound too bad.
No, that's
It sounded about like an even trade.
And we made $25,000 on Kickstarter. So
it's 5 minutes of pain for $25,000 worth of glory.
We
you have to swallow it after you were done in your mouth?
You can't swallow it. Like it's huge. Like the toe of Satan is legit. Like
that's what she said.
No, that's what I'm making sure.
That
like
is
you
what
didn't
she
swallow
said.
it. Yeah, that's what she said, and she never does.
Not to me.
Joke on it.
That never happened for me. That's weird.
I'm sorry she didn't do that for you, Todd. It's because of the elven cloak. You got a 4 HD.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So with the thing, it's like 9 million Scoville units, and you can't not swallow because you're not supposed to spit your out. Like to beat the challenge, so you have to swallow the saliva that's super lava hot.
There's rules to this pain.
I already bought the one chip thing for when we do another Kickstarter, so I've got the one chip thing on hold.
You gotta kind of do these things, and again, it's a good way to connect to your audience. It's a good way to connect people to you. It's a good way to connect people to your project.
There's some things you just can't swallow.
It's true.
You're right, Film Noir. You're right.
Yeah, I would guess like an average book is one of those things.
Yeah. Like Metalshark Bros or Ninja Nuns. You can't swallow them. You can chew them and swallow them if you want, but really what you should do is check out our links in the description. Buy them, read them, and then
Please
after that, do what you may.
If you want to swallow them after you buy them, they've already said that's okay.
That's fine.
Hopefully you swallow all the information in there because there's lots of stuff. Like in Metalshark Bro Volume 1, you're missing all the Easter eggs in the dragon's belly. So go look in the...
So Metalshark Bro Volume 1 is currently sold out. It's being reissued in December 30th. It should be in shops.
It's not far away.
Ninja Nuns will be out in January, and then I think Metalshark Bro Volume 2 is coming out around the same time. So we have a lot of kind of things happening all together.
Basically, end of the year, Fuck yeah, let's do
We're
it.
really excited about it.
And Dust Pirates. So if you got Ninja Nuns,
And Dust Pirates.
hopefully you looked at Dust Pirates because that's what we're trying to
Oh my
push
God,
now.
yeah.
Yes,
So
that's
hopefully
the
you
next-
liked that. So
That'll be the next iron being cooked.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, don't sleep. I went up and got my tortillas. They're called
Oh,
they're called Tortilla Land tortillas, right?
Tortilla land tortillas.
Tortilla Land.
Tortilla Land. 5 ingredients, son. 5 ingredients: wheat flour, water, canola oil, salt, and sugar. They're delicious.
Man, thank you for bringing Tortilla Land to the burrito verse,
Yeah.
Bob.
Hey, Tortilla Land, send us.
They
money.
cook in 60 seconds.
In 60 seconds. At 400 degrees, we have a little skillet. You just it flip delicious.
Tortilla Land is now a part of the burrito universe.
Yeah, it is. Tortilla Land. It's like Disney
Tortilla
World.
Land, if
like
you're watching
one
this,
free
send us a
tortilla.
sponsor.
I do. I
Yeah.
love it. They're
One-
so good.
One
So
free
good.
tortilla.
I mean, along with Black Bean City, there's no better place in the burrito verse.
Yeah, buddy.
You haven't been to Meat Mountain yet, my dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Metalshark, bro.
So thank you so much for having us.
I'm trying
Yes.
to, but she's celibate, Cole.
All right. Well, thanks for getting wrapped up with us, everybody. I'm Todd.
I'm Cole.
I'm Nick.
I'm Kevin.
Oh, and I'm Bob. Bob. Frank.
Yeah. And this has been Comic Burrito. A live stream. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.